Well, hello. How are you guys tonight? I love you. I miss you. I'm Garlinda Price. I'm the CEO of Glamour Cosmetics. I'm the CEO of Fusion Properties, and I'm an ordained pastor. I have been an entrepreneur since I was 19 years old, and who did God call me to? I've told you guys this before, so stop asking me that. No, I'm just kidding. God has called me to women in business, specifically Christian women in business, entrepreneurs aging from ranges 19 all the way up to 100. Why has he done that? Because I have been through it all. I've seen it all in business. We cannot make some of this stuff up. One day I'm going to write a book. You'll read it. And just some of the stuff that I'm going to share with you, can be like, that really happened. What? Yes. So live long enough and you're going to have your own book to write and your own stories to tell as well. So through it all, I've made money, I've lost money. He's blessed me to earn a six-figure income, and I want to show you how to do the same. So before we get started, I told you in the last video that we were going to talk about scheduling, because scheduling is so important. But what I wanted to look up before starting the video, before I started the video, was what does the Bible say about a schedule? So I'm going to try to toggle over to another website to read it to you. And so it may look like I'm looking all over the place on the video, because technically on my side the screen is blank, so bear with me. So in Ephesians 5:15-17, it says, "Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is." And in Psalms 90:12, it says, "So teach us to number our days, that we may get a heart of wisdom." And then it says in Colossians 4:5, "Walk in wisdom toward outsiders, making the best use of the time." And then this is one of my favorite scriptures, Luke 14:28, "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it?" And then the last one I want to share with you is James 4:13-17, and I'm going to share a link with you down below this video with all these scriptures, and it says the open Bible and time management, and what the Word of God says about time management. So time and how we schedule things and do our business is important to God as well. "So come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit, yet do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. Also, such boasting is evil. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin." So I just want to close that out, and then let me just open it back up the screen. So hopefully I wasn't looking too crazy reading that to you, but I thought those were really great scriptures, and there were about 15 to 20 of them, because God blessed us with the gift of time. Earlier today, my friend lost a really beautiful friend of hers through death. She took her own life, and it really got me to thinking how much we go through our day. Sometimes not paying attention to what other people are going through. Not saying she wasn't, I'm just using this as an example. Not using our gifts and our talents towards other people. On a constant basis, I hear people daily complaining, arguing, fussing, discontented, disgruntled. All of us have so much to be grateful for. It may not appear that way sometimes when you're in it, or when you're in the trial, or when you're in the storm, but at the end of the day, and I know that I have a friend of mine that says she can't stand when people say that, but at the end of the day, every day, life is short. We have so much to be grateful for. And more importantly about this video, and about being a Christian business owner and being in the vineyard of the Lord and being in marketplace ministry, is what we do with our time for others really matters, and how we serve others really matters. Because one thing I want to share with you, and then I'm going to get to the point about scheduling. But in my business, what I thought was really important, and I started doing this a long time ago when I owned my very first salon, people would say, pray for me. And I'm sure you get this all the time. And they would say, pray for me. And I'd say, okay, girl, I will. And they would leave. I might forget. I would forget. Somebody would say, pray for me. And then my intention would be to pray for them before I go to bed. By the time my head hits the bed, I'm asleep. So I know I'm not an intercessor, right? I can intercede, but I'm not an intercessor. I'm not that person that lays on my face and stays up all night praying. I would not even tell that lie. Because when I go to sleep, I'm asleep. And God convicted me of it, because if someone asks you for prayer and they're genuinely asking for prayer, you don't know if that's going to be their last day. And I don't even know why I'm on this tangent. But the blessing of being a business owner and the blessing of being a Christian, period, forget it even if you're a business owner, is that when someone asks you to pray, pray right then. When someone says they need you, be there right then. Because so now when somebody says, I need prayer, let's go right now. What do you want to pray about? If somebody says, calls me, I need prayer, let's pray right now. Don't wait. Don't delay. In the business that God has called us to, in the businesses and the occupations that we have, He's calling us to be prayer warriors and the bright lights in the season of darkness. So I encourage you to do that. When people ask you, pray then. Don't wait, because you don't really know where they are. You don't really know what they're thinking, and it's important. So let's talk about time and being everything. So, a schedule is the most important thing. Again, as I was writing this, what I was thinking about is no matter what you're passionately pursuing, timing is everything. Specifically, what do you do with your time? I'm sorry. We touched on this topic lightly, but we hear this all the time, so it has to become ingrained in our thoughts and in our actions. What does a work day for you look like? What activities or tasks do you plan the day before in an effort to prepare for the next work day? Are the activities you've planned income-producing activities? Meaning, once you've completed the task, will it or does it lead to a paying client or income earned for your marketplace ministry? If it doesn't, then you should not be wasting time on this activity, or at least not doing that activity during working hours. Just to give you an idea of some of the ideas of what non-income producing activities look like. One is building a web page or website, Facebook or social media pages, and designing those things during your scheduled business hours or your scheduled working hours, because that's a non-income producing activity. Is it an important activity for your business? Yes, but I'm going to talk to you about when you should schedule to do those things. Having breakfast with lunch or friends or family just for the heck of socializing, especially during your most productive hours, is a non-income producing activity. And this is going to sound harsh, but I had to sacrifice and miss a lot of lunches and breakfasts and dinners with friends and with family during the seasons and the time when I was growing my business. Because when you're growing and you're trying to get to momentum, time is everything. You don't have time to waste. And I'm not saying spending time with friends and family is a waste of time, but some people socialize too much as a reason to avoid getting their work done. And then spending time on the phone talking about non-business related items or income producing talks is unproductive. So you'll have people that want to call you, or you call them about business, and then they pull you off onto a tangent to talk about the things they want to talk about, something totally unrelated to business. Or they call when you're supposed to be making your business calls, and then you lose an hour or you lose 30 minutes that you can't get back. So you weren't productive during that time. So I'm going to talk to you about that too, about how to avoid that. Do you grocery shop or run errands or clean the house or cut the grass during your income producing hours, which is unproductive? So it's not unproductive that you got those things done, but it didn't equal income for your business. Do you take classes during working hours? So as a realtor, I don't go to the classes that our board offers, because I find out not that the classes are a waste of time, but that the classes are held during my income producing activities. And if I'm sitting in a class that they're holding and it's at a time where I could be making money, then the other realtors are out making money while I'm sitting here in this class. So I don't waste time taking classes just to say I took a class that's going to take away from my income, because what's most important? That I'm maximizing my income producing hours during that time. So what is an income producing activity? Lead generation is at the heart and the core of your business. Every day you should have scheduled lead generating time for at least 2 to 3 hours a day. Well, somebody's going to want to cut the video off right now and say, well, I work during the day. You still have time to get in 2 to 3 hours a day of lead gen time. I'm going to show you how. 2 to 3 hours a day. Who am I calling? What do I say? I don't want to bother my friends and family. I'm not a salesperson. I don't know anyone. I've asked everyone I know. No one I know knows anyone. Why do I have to do this? It's not necessary. So stop with the excuses. The truth is that you don't want to do it if you're not doing it, or possibly you just don't know how to do it, or you're just plain scared. Either way, it's all based in fear, so we're going to help walk you through that. This video may go over a little bit, and I apologize. If you're out of leads, you're out of business. My first real estate coach and business coach told me that. He said if you're out of leads, you're out of business. Every time a deal closes or you close with a client, you're out of business. So you're constantly having to look for a new one. So you have to generate and fill your pipeline with A, B, and C clients and buyers. That way there's always someone moving into or out of a purchase. So you always have a full pipeline of business coming in and out. An A client is someone who is ready, willing, and able to buy today. Right? A B client is someone who is ready, willing, and able to purchase within the next 60 to 90 days. A C client is someone that you're going to do business with in the future, and you're going to follow up with them every 30 days, but they won't be ready for about 90 days to a year. And then how do you categorize your clients? You find out where they are in the process of whatever it is you're selling, and you ask them, when do you plan on purchasing? When would you like to purchase? And what's holding you back from purchasing? When can I follow up with you again? And then schedule a time to follow up. And then sourcing your business. Where does your business come from? Is it friends, family, Craigslist, social media, church, networking groups? It's super important to not only have a client database and a list of clients, but to source them and find out where they're coming from, so you know where to spend your marketing dollars, and you know where to spend your money, or you know where to advertise for free. Ask everyone, how did you hear about me? Who referred you to me? That way you also would know who to go back and thank. 80% of your income is going to come from 20% of your effort, so it's very important to know where your money is coming from. So what is considered lead generating, and why is it so important? So lead generating can be phone calls to past clients and centers of influence, personal handwritten notes, emails to clients and leads, coffee lunches with clients, or coffee and lunch or breakfast or dinner with your sphere of influence, vending or booth set up at industry events, and holding or hosting your own events. So what am I going to say when I call the client centers influence or sphere? We're going to talk about that the next time. Today we just want to talk about scheduling. So 2 to 3 hours a day. What can you do if you work a full-time job? So if you work a full-time job, one, you got to know, what days am I going to work my business? So let's say you're going to work your business on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So before you go to work, let's say you go to work and you have to be there at 8 o'clock, you can schedule and do your social media posts and everything else before 8 o'clock. So that means you need to wake up earlier. So at 6, you can be doing your social media, your admin, everything related to administrative work, or lead generating, emailing clients, handwriting notes, and getting the stamps on to get those things mailed out. You can do that before you have to be to work at 8 o'clock. Skip lunch. None of us is going to die from missing a meal. I assure you, we're not starving. So skip lunch, and that means you have an hour. So from 11:30 to 12:30, or 12 to 1, or 12:30 to 1:30, whatever time you take your lunch, you can also be handwriting notes. Your goal is you need to make 20 phone calls a day. You can make 20 phone calls in an hour. I assure you that you can. And in the phone calls, I'm gonna give you scripts and dialogues of what to say, and it's gonna be the same script, the same dialogue every time you call people. That's gonna be our next video. But your goal is to make 20 phone calls and to book 3 appointments each day. Because if you book 3 appointments a day and you work 5 days a week, that's 15 appointments. If it's 3 appointments a day and you work 3 days a week, that's 9 appointments. You're going to do business, right? So you're going to work before 8 o'clock. So let's say from 6 to 7, you're doing administrative stuff as it relates to your business. Let's say you have to be to work at 8 and that's pushing it too close, then get up at 5. You're going to have to make sacrifices in business. Let's say you gave up your lunch break. That's 1 hour. When you get off work and you get home, you get dinner started, you get your kids set up and ready for bed, get their homework done, you're going to need to sacrifice an hour and stay up later to spend that hour reaching out to clients. You can make phone calls on the way home. So even if you only have 30 minutes in the car on the way home and 30 minutes that night, you would have worked your business 3 hours that day. Because if you do 1 hour before work, 1 hour at lunch, 30 minutes in the car on the way home, and 30 minutes before you go to bed, that's 3 hours that you would have worked your business. You can do that. All of us can do that. So who are you calling? You're calling 20 people a day, or either you're emailing a combination. You're going to do a combination of email, handwritten notes, or phone calls, but 20 people. So you do a tick mark system, and you're going to ask them for business or ask them for referrals. On the next video, I'm going to share with you scripts and dialogues. and then we'll talk about who to meet while you're out and about. So this schedule is based on a 5-day work week. So you have to decide what days and what times am I going to work my business, and then when am I going to meet the people when I'm booking these appointments. That's what you want to use your weekends for. So yes, you're going to have to sacrifice some Saturday time. So let's say you spend the week setting up the appointments, getting the names and numbers, and then from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday you're meeting with people, or from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday you're meeting with people, or from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday you're meeting with people. That's how you want to put together your schedule and block off your time. So we're running over, so it's already at over the time that I want to spend, but I just want to share one more thing with you. You have to have a greatness mindset. And so if you spend the time asking for the referrals, working your schedule, give yourself a sheet. Just create a sheet and say Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday, these are the hours I work, this is who I called, this is what they said, this is when I told them I would follow back up. But use your schedule, and use your schedule to build your business, because God called you to grow your business, and the people that you're going to reach, they're going to be blessed by your business. I'll talk to you next week, and again, sorry the video went so long. Talk to you soon. God bless you. Bye.